Hey guys, Ashley here from Are You Glistening? And today we are learning about eyeshadow for beginners. I know it's 2025 and it seems like with all the content out there, everybody should know how to do their eyeshadow. But the reality is they don't, and probably because there's too much information out there. We have so much at our fingertips on a day-to-day basis and everybody is pushing a product. So you go out and buy it, but then you get it home and you're like, I don't even know how to use this. You're watching your favorite influencers put it on, but the tutorial itself may not be there, all the nitty gritty. And I work with people on how to do their makeup. So I have put together all the things that you may not learn about in a tutorial and put it in one video for you guys to understand. And also it's really hard to do a tutorial in 60 seconds. All these short form content formats allow 60 seconds and it's just really hard to learn how to do your makeup in that amount of time. I put together this video for you. You're gonna learn things hopefully that you didn't know before, and I hope that it helps you along the way when you pick out your eyeshadow. So if you or someone you know is struggling with putting on eyeshadow, how to use an eyeshadow palette, this video is for you, or maybe someone you know. So share the video with someone. Okay, let's get into it. I want to go over the anatomy of a palette and what makes a palette a good choice. You want to consider if you like warm tones or if you like cooler tones. Typically, if you're a beginner, you want to start off with something fairly neutral. So a palette of cool tone browns and golds, or a palette of warm tone browns and golds, or maybe even a combination of both. Typically, I don't find beginner palettes, or typically people that are just getting an eyeshadow, a colorful palette is going to be too intimidating. And it does take a good knowledge of color theory and application and technique to use a colorful palette. So I always say grab something neutral. So this is the Juvia's Place Nubian. I think Nubian was like their first one, but it's really popular. But you see the top row here is like all shimmers, lighter shimmers. Then you have your medium tones here and then your deeper ones. The bottom row is matte. So all of these are going to be good for definition and for lining and for darkening any other colors that you put on. Shimmers are great because they add a pop of dimension to your eye, especially on the lid, and even if in the brow bone if you want. But you see how all these are brown, but you've got different tones and different textures in the palette altogether. If you have an all matte palette, that's cute, right? But it doesn't always build dimension when you use all one texture. So make sure when you're choosing a palette, it's got shimmers, it's got mattes, it's got satin finishes or it's semi-matte, so you can really bring definition where you want to. So this is a 12 pan palette. You've got gold and tan shimmers. Let's see, yeah, you have a gold up here, then you have a bronze, then you have this taupey brown, and then you have these duochrome, excuse me. Sorry, I'm working like opposite the screen. Wow, that is pigmented. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, it's like a green duochrome shift. Cute. Let's see if I can get it in frame here. So that's what that looks like. It's green. It's got like a shift to it. But yeah, you've got more of a yellow gold, and then you have a bronzy gold, and then you have a champagne. Yeah, so this is a pretty diverse palette here. So you can see like the different tones of gold. So even though it looks brown, you have a lot to work with. So when you're choosing a palette, make sure it's got a good range for you to choose from. So once you become more confident in eyeshadow, you don't have to go out and buy another palette. You can just become more daring with the one you have by mixing colors that you maybe never tried before, adding more depth. A lot of people are scared to go dark with the eyeshadows. So once you master the basics, you know, you have that palette to play with the darker colors. Okay, so today we are using the Nubian Earth palette. I bought this specifically for this tutorial. I have a lot of eyeshadow, but I think it's really important to talk about a good palette for beginners, and I just felt like I didn't have one. So inside you will see lots of gold, lots of shimmer, And it's always just the easiest to go with when you're new, just to pick like earth tone colors and things like that. So you'll see you have an array of shimmers. You have a duochrome here, which I believe is a pressed pigment. And then you have a row of various shimmers. You've got like a chunkier glitter here, softer shimmers, and you have a bottom row of mattes. Sorry if that was out of frame, but you have here a good array of tones and textures in the palette. So this is something you really want to go for. Also, I will note, I read that this color, number 2, is a pressed pigment. Pressed pigment is different from typical eyeshadow, and it does say on the label that it's not recommended for the immediate eye area. So also when you're choosing your eyeshadow palettes, read the label. The only place we can put this on the eyebrow safely is the brow bone. I know typically pressed pigments, something as shimmered as this, doesn't typically bother my eyelid. This color doesn't typically bother my eyelid, but I'm not going to use that today on my eyelid. But I do know typically things like that don't bother me. It says to not put it on the immediate eye area because it can cause irritation. So if you have sensitive eyes, watery eyes, I definitely would follow the label. I just know typically those don't bother me. I have a hair on my face. And it's itching. Okay, so I like this palette because it has tones and textures of browns that we're going to use. And then I think it's important to talk about brushes. You can buy the best palette in the world. Somebody's going to tell you it's easy breezy, you got to have it, love. But if you don't have the proper tools to do it, then you're just not going to have success with the eyeshadow. So I'll keep it as simple as I can. You're going to need a flat paddle brush like this. And see how it's flat? This is going to be good for pressing color on the eyelid, which I'll explain in a little bit. And then you're going to need a blending brush. So for the crease, for the socket, something round and fluffy. And it can be any brush. Don't do like Dollar Tree because that's not going to work. You can get pretty affordable brushes these days and you don't have to get something super expensive. This is a Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Longwear Eyeshadow Primer. You can do whatever you want. I chose this one when I was shopping for a new primer because it's clear, and I really do not like tinted primers unless I'm wearing really bright colors and I need it to pop, but that's rarely the case. I just need something for my eyeshadow to adhere to because my eyes are hooded again, and eyeshadow loves to sit right here and separate in the crease. So I'm going to spread that on a little bit, and then you can blend it in with your fingers or a brush. I still have leftover skincare on my fingers, so I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to use the blending brush that we're going to use for our crease. I'm just going to spread this around. And while I'm doing this, it's really important to talk about the anatomy of the eye. It can seem elementary to some people, but I think it's really important to understand the different parts of the eye and where we put eyeshadow. It's part of the tutorial. So first of all, you can take the back of your brush for all of this. I want you to just take a moment and understand your eyes, where your eyelid sits, where your crease is, and where your brow bone sits. So here, anywhere you feel eyeball, that is your eyelid. This area here. If I can press it in. So anywhere you feel eyeball again, that's your eyelid. Once your brush sinks in, like right there, this might be creepy to some. I know they get freaked out with eyeballs. That's your socket. And that's when we talk about the windshield wiper motion. This is directly in the crease. When you bring it up a little bit, that is the upper crease, which I'll talk about. It's one of those things too, it depends on your eye structure. I have a very prominent brow bone, which I'll get into in a minute. So I have a lot of upper crease area, and that is a common trait of somebody with a hooded eye. And then once you move on from the socket and you go back to bone, that whole area is your brow bone. lid, crease, brow bone. Now, right where your eyelashes meet your eyelid, that is your lash line. That's really important because when it comes to eyeliner and mascara, that's going to make a lot more sense. And then on the bottom, it's the same thing. This area where your eyelids meet your eyelashes, your lash line meets your eyelashes, that is your lower lash line. So I'll be applying eyeliner and eyeshadow. So when I say to the lower lash line, it's the outside here. And the waterline is the very inside. So this small pocket of flesh right there, and it's pink, that is your waterline. And I love lining my waterline with black. I know a lot of people don't, but I probably will be doing that. So just wanted to get that out the way. Okay, so let's get into eyeshadow. The easiest thing to do when you're starting your eyeshadow after you prime is to start with your crease. You want to go ahead and mark it. Typically in your crease, for an everyday look, you want to choose something mid-tone. So nothing too light and nothing too dark. So I think I'm going to go in with, is it this color? Do I want to do that one? Hold on, let me think. I want to see with this mid-tone. This looks pretty fair for me, but I'm going to try this color right here. I'm going to go in with my blending brush and I'm going to get a mirror and I'm going to pop this in my crease. It's light, like I thought, but it's fine. And see, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm going into this not sure what I want to do, and that just gave me my answer. It gives me a little bit of, it's something. How about that? We'll just put it all over the eyelid. It's okay. We'll make this a base color. Just pop it all over. You can use this crease brush, go back and forth like a windshield wiper. Okay, so you see here, I just have a light base on my eyes. You can pop that all over if you want. You can add eyeliner and mascara and call it a day, but you have a 12 pan palette and you just want to see how all these colors flow together. So typically in the crease, you want to, again, do something that's dark, but not super dark. So the second shade from the bottom. So actually this one here is lighter than this one at the very end. So that's why we're gonna go in with this one. We're gonna go directly into the crease. So you wanna load up your brush. We're still using the blending brush. And the easiest thing to do is have a mirror. I have a compact mirror right here. And I'm looking down into it so I can make sure that I'm staying in the crease. And always do your eyeshadow with your eyes open if you can. When you're looking down into a mirror, it just really helps you with your placement. And you want to apply light pressure. The way you know how to add light pressure, you're not holding the brush right here. You're holding it back a little bit, actually a lot. And you're letting the brush do the work because you invested in these brushes, let them do the work. You're just gonna go back and forth in that crease until you get the depth that you're looking for. I'm trying not to go too dark. I typically like my eyes dark, but I'm trying not to do too much. But you're going to keep applying and blending that out until you get the depth that you want. It's gonna close. So we put one color all over the eye. It was lighter than I wanted, but we put it all over the lid and up into the crease. And then we took a darker color just to give that crease some definition. You always want to put some kind of shading in the crease so you can separate your lid from your crease and just create more eye shape and definition and really some dimension to the eye. So that was only 2 colors. We could stop here. We could literally stop here. But again, we have a palette of 12 colors. The great thing with palettes is, again, no matter what you put on your eye, it's always gonna match. So whatever you put on your eye, it's always gonna match. My eye is flat right now. So I want to add some shimmer. And with these high shimmer colors, it's usually easier to apply with a finger. I typically don't apply with a finger because I have nails, but I'm in the middle of doing my nails and I shorten them. So I think I can go in with a finger. I'm gonna go in, oh, that's really pretty. I'm gonna go in with this gold color right here. And you can see like how gold it is. And remember how we touched our eye earlier? Anywhere you feel eyeball, this is gonna go on the lid. You're just gonna take your finger, you're just gonna press it on the lid. Anywhere you feel eyeball. Get down in that lash line, wherever you feel your eyeball. And you're just gonna meet it into the crease. And that crease color is also very important because it bridges that gap with whatever is on your lid to your brow bone. Some people call it a transition color. I just call it a crease color at this point. Transition, a bridge, a crease, all the same. I'm gonna do the same on this side. This is a really pretty color. And then to get the inner corner, you're gonna look like in that direction. If you're on the left eye, basically you're gonna look to the left as far as you can so that you can get your finger all the way in that inner corner. And if you feel like you need to get in there a little bit more, you can take your paddle brush and tap it in there. And that would be what you need the paddle brush for. I ended up using my finger, but if you don't want to use fingers, you would dip your brush into the color and you would tap it on the lid. Tapping is important because when you wipe, you can wipe it away. If you want to really deposit that color on there, just tap it into place all over the eyelid. Like, and I'm gonna check my work. Oh yeah, that actually looks pretty good. So this is what we're looking like. If you want to take it a step farther and just make it more nighttime, you want to take a small, dense brush with tightly packed hairs. So this is like a pencil brush. This is a precision blender brush actually. But see how like it's round and it's fluffy like that crease brush. But you see how much more tight the hairs are than the first one. This is going to give you more precise blending. This one is going to give you like all over diffusion of color. So the smaller and more tightly packed your brush is, the more precise it's going to be. And I'll show you if you want to take your eyeshadow to the next step, or maybe take it in a daytime where a brush like this comes in handy. So something like this, a smudger, a pencil brush, a precision brush. Just look for something small with tightly packed fibers. So if this color is in the crease here, you want to go for this one or this one. I really like how this chocolate brown here looks. So I think I'm going to go in straight on. Not the side, just want to go straight on. All that color should be at the very tip of the brush. Oop, don't fall. And you're gonna look down into a mirror again. In the very outer corner of your eye, you're just going to go in small little tight circles. You're building up a little bit of smoke on that corner and just giving you a little more definition. So when you start to darken these colors, you're going to get a little more of a nighttime effect just on the outer corner. And you see how why it's important to have a smaller brush, because it fits right here in the corner. This brush would be a little too big. I could finesse it because I've been doing eyeshadow all my life, but getting a smaller brush is going to make it so much easier. And we're all about ease. I know brushes can be boring and can be just an added expense, but they're here to make your life so much easier, and they really help you with your technique. Because again, you can buy the palette. Somebody's telling you to buy the palette. It's amazing, gorgeous colors, but if you don't know how to use it and haven't quite mastered your technique and what tools you like to use, it's not really gonna make a difference. You're just gonna be sitting there with a beautiful palette collecting dust. So once you get that, oh, I guess I'll just show you what that looks like. So here is a darker corner here, and here's one without. So you see the difference? And you wanna make sure you're keeping it also like directly in your crease. You don't wanna bring this up, because if you go up with a darker color, you're gonna start closing your eye. And that's why I told you guys to take a moment and like really feel your own eye placement, because you wanna go right where that brush sinks in. You don't wanna go above it. With that transition color, that first color, we went a little bit above it to cover the entire crease area. With the darker color here, we're going directly in the crease, not above it. So now I'm going in again on the other eye. I'm gonna start down at the lash line and work my way up into the immediate crease. Make an ugly face, the way we're like, all that. Is really just to get the eye to relax, to make sure that the eyeshadow is going exactly where it needs to go. Pretty. So we're gonna take the same precision blending brush and I'm gonna wipe it out in a paper towel. Don't use toilet tissue because it'll leave fibers behind, but wiping it out in a towel or paper towel, something that doesn't leave lint behind or anything, that's gonna remove the previous color out of your brush. So you can go immediately into another color with the same brush, but not have the previous color on the brush and mix it all together. But whatever we do on the top, especially in the crease, we wanna do on the bottom. So I'm gonna go back in with, let me see, I'm actually gonna go in with this color we did in the crease just to keep it uniform. Straight on. And we're gonna apply this to the lower lash line. So you wanna look into this mirror, but you wanna tilt your head down so you can really see your lash line in the mirror. And I'm just gonna move the brush back and forth. So this is gonna give you some definition to the lower lid. And also it looks more realistic versus just covering it up with concealer and not putting anything down there. The natural eye has some shadow to it. So you wanna keep that definition. So it's very subtle, but it definitely makes an impact. It just makes it more realistic and more complete when you do that. And let the brush work. You're not gonna poke your eye, I promise. You are not gonna poke your eye. Just take that brush and follow the lower lash line. Remember, that's where I told you guys to take some time and feel your eye structure, where your lid sits, feel your lash line, get used to those motions because it's all gonna come in handy. So once that is done, we're gonna go in with my personal favorite part of eye makeup, which is eyeliner and mascara. And this is once you're happy with the look. And this is all about preference. You can leave it here. Again, I like my eyes fairly dark. So what I'm gonna do is take my eyeliner. I use 2 eyeliners. This is part of like my own special technique. I use Urban Decay's Demolition. This is a soft, it's like a cool tone dark brown. It's like a dark brown black, but it's not fully black. And I also have the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist color pencil. So this is the waterproof black liner. I love this combination because sometimes black can be too harsh. So I like to go in with a really dark brown. And I have to use a black brown because I'm dark skinned. So it has to be brown to where it gives me definition, but not black. And I'm going to take that brown and line my lower lash line. These are waterline safe as well, which is important because again, in the beginning, I said, I love lining my inner waterline. So you can see the difference with eyeliner here and here. Eye looks bigger, sexier, more defined. I'm gonna do the same here too. Perfect. Let me see. And then you're going to relax your eye because you're looking down into this mirror. And you're gonna start at the outside of your upper lash line and work your way in. You're almost drawing little dashes. Because if you just draw a line, nobody's hand is that steady. You're going to make it all crooked and it's just going to be a mess. So let me just get rid of this lid. Keeps falling off. So you just want to make sure you're doing little dashes really in the lash line to give you definition. It's very subtle, but it makes the impact. And then once you get to the inner part of the lid, you want to work your way in the opposite direction. So when you're adding definition to the eye, I always say start at the outside, because if you mess up, you can just blend it out and give yourself like a little smoky corner. It looks way more natural when you start off light here and you work your way to a darker color. So if you mess up, you can just take your brush and blend it. But you always want to work your way in and do those little dashing motions instead of just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That is a recipe for disaster, to be honest. So I'm going to do the other side. Whenever I teach people how to line their lash line, they're almost afraid to touch their eyelashes. Absolutely, you have to touch your eyelashes if you want a very thin line. You have to. So I like a little extra, so I'm gonna go in with my Makeup Forever Aqua Black, and I'll just show you what it looks like when you're wanting to add more definition to the eye. So you saw that level 1 where we took that darker shadow and just lined our eyes with it. And then we went in with the Demolition from Urban Decay and lined with pencil to build on that definition. And now I'm gonna take black in the waterline. So you can see what that looks like. Tilt your head down. And these pencils glide. Again, you're not gonna poke yourself. People are afraid that they're gonna poke their eye. It doesn't hurt, I promise. These pencils are very soft. So, see what that does? It's like, when you have a good eyeliner that doesn't skip, it makes your life 10 times easier. I think this is my 3rd time purchasing both eyeliners. I've been wearing this combo for years. It goes with every single eyeshadow look. I love both of these pencils, and I wear contact lenses as well. So I'm very picky about eyeliner and mascara. And I'm just gonna go over that brown line at the top. So see how you have definition, but it's not like a fat line of eyeliner. Again, just doing those dashes across the eye make a difference for you to be able to get it super thin and in the lash line. Okay, so I have applied my mascara, put on some blush. I'm gonna leave it here, the lips or whatever I have on lip balm. So this is the final look, and I hope that this was like a easy tutorial for you. Just understand the basics of eyeshadow, and to remind you that no matter what you put on your eyes from a palette, it's always going to go together. Everything in this palette was designed to go together with each other. So I could do something random like pop this, wait, I use that color. I could pop this all over the lid and then throw this in the crease. So these are all tones in a palette that no matter what you do, they'll all go together. Just focus on a color for the lid, a color for the crease, and a color to just deepen up that crease just a little bit, or even the outer corner. Eyeliner and mascara, and you're done. Also, don't forget to focus on your brushes. You want to make sure you have a flat brush for the eyelid, and then a crease brush for your crease or socket. And then if you want some further definition, you can get a definer brush. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you out a ton. Please comment, subscribe to this channel. Any questions you have, put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer. I look forward to giving you more and more content to help you become confident in applying your own makeup. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.